What is up, Rev Gang? I am super excited to have you here on the first episode of something that we are calling Mental Health with Wes. My name is Wes Woodson, and I am starting a mental health revolution where we have authentic and vulnerable conversations about mental health. On this new episode, I'm going to be answering your questions in 5 minutes or less. Roll the intro. Before we even get to those questions, I want to say I'm not a mental health clinician. I am not a mental health professional. I answer these questions that I have here based on my own experience. I actually get these questions for when I actually travel around the country speaking professionally about mental health and anxiety. So without further ado, the first question I would always get on the road is, how do I know the difference between anxiety or stress? Stress is your body's reaction to an external threat, and anxiety is your body's reaction to stress. Imagine you are in a room with a tiger. You see a tiger, like an actual tiger, and you get scared shitless. You run. See, that's stress. But imagine you're back in that room and there's no tiger at all. You're extremely excessively worrying about what if the tiger does come into the room and sneaks up behind you and eats you. That is anxiety. Next question. When do I know that I need to go to a therapist? So for me in my life, when I was going to see a therapist, or before I even started seeing a therapist, one of the key indicators was I was acting out in school, not focusing. I was having angry outbursts. I wasn't talking to my family. I became very distant. My daily life was being tremendously impacted. So to answer that question of how do you know that you need therapy is, well, if you can see in your daily life that your life has changed in a very negative way. Maybe you're having trouble getting out of bed in the morning. Maybe you're having the lack of desire of eating, or maybe you're having thoughts where you don't even want to live anymore. Those are some of the key signs that it's important to turn to get help. Great question. What if therapy is not working? I always remind myself that therapy is a lot like dating. Therapy is no different. There are other fish in the sea. If you don't feel seen, heard, or understood by your therapist, then it is perfectly okay to end that relationship. Because you want to go to someone who you can actually trust and see yourself telling very vulnerable things to, because therapy is a very vulnerable and forthcoming exercise. So you want to make sure you can trust that person, but it's okay if you don't. There are so many more fish in the sea. How do I know that I have anxiety? For me, I started having social anxiety around test taking tests inside of school. So the test is just like that tiger I explained in question 2. And you see that excessive sense of worrying about the future or how I performed on the test, that would travel with me outside during recess, back home when I was eating dinner with my family. I would bite my nails profusely, I'd pick at my skin. That was a key indicator that I needed to get help. What are your thoughts on medication versus therapy? I always explain that no matter if you do medication or therapy, well, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. You can't just depend on therapy. You can't just depend on medication. And in my experience, I decided to use both. But like I always say, there is not one-size-fits-all type solution, and it's always important to do what's best for you. So that's it. That was literally a wonderful segment. If you found this video valuable, the biggest ask I have is you can please like this video and comment a question that you have below, and we'll include it in the next segment of Mental Health with Wes. You've been a great audience, and before I go, I want to say one more thing. I want you to know that you are enough. I'm so glad we got a chance to meet right here on camera. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, but until then, be revolutionary. See you soon.